Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I built this herb growing light stand. Now if you're wondering first off why I'm kind of silhouetted and dark, it's because I focused the camera on the window and this light system, and by doing that it makes me dark. If I'd have focused on me, then the window would have been completely blown out and you wouldn't have been able to see what I was trying to show here. Anyways, I built this light stand out of two 6-foot fencing boards, cedar, and they are 5.5 inches wide. They call them 6-inch. They're 6-inch by 6 foot, and they were $1.70 each. So you're looking at $3.40 in wood, that's a drop in the bucket. The most expensive part, of course, was this fixture. Now, the fixture that I used here is a 2-foot T8 fixture, and it takes two 17-watt bulbs. Now, each one of these bulbs puts out 1,275 lumens, so you're looking at over 2,500 lumens just for this one fixture. And so it's really simple to do. It's a piece of cake to put together. Very amateurish, because hey, this is easy woodworking, right? It's woodworking for amateurs. And so anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I built this. All right. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I took my two 6-foot fencing boards. They were 5.5 inches wide. I ran them through the table saw to square the edges up. So I basically took about 1/8 of an inch off of each side, and they worked out to, now they're 5.25 inches wide. And then I ran these through the planer, and it took off all the burrs, took off all the high spots and whatnot, and it flattened them out really nice. You could go ahead and sand these. I'm not gonna. After running them through the planer, in my opinion, sands them good enough, and they look really good. So now I ended up here with, for this project, with two 5.25 inch by 6-foot fencing boards. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the piece for the top and the piece for the bottom, and they're the same size, both 28 inches each. Okay, so there's my two 28-inch pieces right there. That's the top and the bottom. Okay, next I'm going to cut two 24-inch pieces for the sides. Okay, also what I've cut out of one of these pieces left over, I cut 8 of these 1.5 inch triangle pieces, and they're going to be the braces for the top and bottom. There's going to be 4 on the bottom and 4 on the top. Okay, so let's recap what we have. We have two pieces that are 5.25 inches by 28 inches, two pieces that are 5.25 inches by 24 inches. We have 8 of these 1.5 inch triangle pieces that are for the braces, and then the one of the pieces that are 28, I went and cut a 1.5 inch hole because I need to run my wires for the light through the top piece. Okay, so let's go ahead and assemble this. Okay, so my next step is to cut dado cuts on each end of the top and the bottom so that my sides will fit in to each of these. Now the width of the sides are 1/2 inch, so I only have to cut a 1/2 inch width. I'm going to go down about 1/4 inch. Now I'm not going to change out my dado blade. I'm not going to put my dado blade in the table saw. I'll just make multiple passes because I've only got 4 cuts to make. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'll just make multiple passes with my regular blade. Okay, so I have both channels cut in the top and the bottom. Now it's just a matter of gluing it, setting the sides in, and screwing them. I'm going to recess them and put plugs in to make it look a little nicer. Okay, I went ahead and put glue in here. And on the bottom, I'm going to recess and put screws in. But I'm not going to worry about putting plugs in because, I mean, nobody's going to see it. And I'm looking at these boards and thinking which looks best. And of course they're fencing boards, so this kind of burnt shoot up spot is I'm going to go in because that way nobody's going to see it. Okay, so the last thing to do is to put these little braces in here to help stabilize it. Now, because I cut these dado cuts, it's really solid. I went and checked it for square, and it's perfectly square. So I think it's going to hold pretty well like this. But what I'm going to do, now if you were concerned about it, you could take some bigger pieces, some 3 or 4 inch triangle pieces on the very back part, and screw them to it to help stabilize it, because people aren't going to see the back, especially on the top, because the light is going to be right here. So if you're concerned about it, then you can go ahead and put some bigger pieces in. But I think I'm just going to put these on the bottom here like this, and then not worry about the ones on the top, because I think it's going to be stable enough. So, okay, so here it is all finished. Now, one thing that I did not mention is when I drilled the 3/8 inch preset holes, in other words, to recess the screws, I mentioned putting plugs in. I think I did mention putting plugs in. Anyways, there's a couple options for you available. You can go out and buy the professional already made plugs and just pop them in, and they look really nice, but they are expensive. What I usually do is I take like a 3/8 inch dowel and I put glue on it, pop it down into the hole, and then cut it off and then sand it flush. And it ends up being about 1/10 of the cost just using a wooden dowel. So I wanted to point that out. You can do either option. So what I did was I went and mounted my light fixture here, and then I put a piece of PVC down here to run the cord. That way it just, I'm not sure if it looks better or not. You don't have to do that. A lot of these, the cord comes out the end, and so you can just, if your cord comes out the end, which most of them do, then you can just put a hole on the side and then just run your cord out, and you can't get any easier than that. So yeah, that's about it. This is really simple. It's easy to do. One thing that I also should mention too is if you think this is a little tippy, you can put a bigger base on the bottom. You know, put a piece of wood across like this to keep it from tipping. Now the reason why I can't do that is because this is only about a quarter or an eighth of an inch narrower than the ledge of my window, so I can't put anything more on there. When I get the weight of my plants on here, it's going to be plenty sturdy, but you're going to have to use your own judgment on that. If it's a little bit tippy, then you're not going to want to do that, especially when you're dealing with electricity and the lights here and whatnot. So you're just going to want to be careful about that. So if it's a little tippy, then you're going to have to figure something else out. Even go as far as to which, I mean, you don't want to ruin your windowsill, but as far as screwing it into your windowsill or something. But if it's going to be there for years to come, you can always putty up the holes in your windowsill and you're good to go on that. But I wouldn't recommend doing that. I'm not going to do that. It's going to be plenty sturdy. I mean, it's plenty sturdy now, so I'm not worried about it. But like I say, use your own judgment on that. Okay, well, there is the finished product. Now I wanted to make a couple final notes on this. Number one, it comes with the diffuser, at least the one that I bought does, because it's not a shop light. It's meant to look nice, to be mounted inside where it's, you know, aesthetically it's going to be more pleasing. I think though that the diffuser, of course it does diffuse light, and it cuts down on the amount of light that's transmitted. So I'm not going to put this on. If you're worried about looks though, you can go ahead and put this on. It's just going to cut some of the light down. I'm blessed enough to have a nice sunny window. It's not sunny all day. It's only sunny for a couple hours. But I do have that option. So I don't need to have the light really close. If you don't have a sunny window, then what you could do, instead of mounting this permanently, you could put it on hooks and have it on a chain. And that way you could adjust the chain to the height of your herbs. But now to do that, you want to make sure that you keep your herbs trimmed at a certain height, you know, kind of close to the same, because some of them may grow, like the oregano might grow up to here, and then I can't lower it, and so my spearmint and my peppermint are going to suffer. And so you want to make sure that you kind of keep these trimmed at the same height if you're going to do that. I don't worry about it because I have plenty of light. So that's pretty much it, except for the one thing that I was telling you about the sides, where you might want to secure this to the windowsill if you think that it's a little too tippy. For me, it's not tippy at all. This is plenty of weight here. I got a good 10 pounds right here. In this, there's no way this thing is going to fall over. But if you're worried about it, you can just take a string and put it to the window here if you wanted to keep it from falling or something like that. But like I say, you're going to have to use your own judgment, and I can't be responsible for that, for you if you do. But anyways, there it is, my herb growing light stand. If you have any questions or comments, just post them below. I'd love to hear them. And remember, this is amateur woodworking. It's not professional woodworking. Okay, so anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch y'all later.